women have the same situation sometimes, especially when you get lit. People always talking about gold digging women. In 2023, it's an epidemic of dudes trying to come up off women.
For sure.
You know what's really funny to me? And I heard a dude say it one time. and I was hoping that maybe he was just, reaching a little bit, maybe, what I'm saying, but it really seems like every time there's a new year, I hope y'all put this to bed in 2024 and beyond, because it's like every time there's a new year, first thing y'all do is just say, oh, in 2020 this, and 2020 that, and 2023, next year, and 2024. It don't have nothing to do with the year. This has been going on since Jesus. She's been going on since freaking Jesus days. And I can bring out scripture to prove it. This has always been going on. Somebody has been getting over on everybody. You know what I'm saying? But what's skewed is the numbers and what y'all want to admit versus what y'all don't want to admit, because somebody always trying to protect these bras. Just keep it 100, just keep it real, just keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why the situations are the way they are. And at some point, because of our makeup, we just decide, we don't want to deal with these bras. You know what? I'm going to focus on this and I'm going to focus on that. So at the end of the day, don't try to just make it seem like Mug's going through so much stuff that ain't never been going down before. And a lot of times, it take a dude that comes in the door putting out everything every time. Could be in 3, 4, 5 relationships and just bring in everything, because that's how a lot of men are made up. We just gonna come in paying all the bills, and we just gonna come in keeping the lights on, and we just gonna. That's how we just move. That's why, going back to the scripture, it's a reason why the instruction was to the men to love. It's a reason why it told them to love like Christ, because we're capable of it, because we're the image of Him. Unlike their instructions, was totally different than the man's instruction. That's for a reason, because they move off their freaking feelings. And I could go deep in that, but I ain't gonna do that right now.
This doesn't just apply to men. It goes both ways.
That's a bar. People don't think, bro.
No, they don't.
Women really, in most relationships, are the breadwinners.
Today, yeah.
Nobody talks
That's
about
what I'm
that.
saying. 2023,
like,
women running it up for real.
Bro, girls spending $700 on their hair, $200 on their nails. Yep. Still got the car.
Yep.
Bro, they spending a bag.
No, women spent bags, bro.
And they still managing it okay. But it's just like, it's the fact that you're doing it. And there's a lot of women who manage their money very fucking well.
Some of these women are spending $700 on their hair and $200 on their nails. And it's the fact that they can do it. They're doing okay, but it's the fact that they can do it. They got some that's managed it pretty well. Are they really managing it well? Are they really doing it well? Or are you just calling out the fact that the most truest things you said is that they're definitely spending more than a bag? And then these are the same bras who will have laid with Pookie and Ray Ray already. And, I don't want to jump too far ahead of myself, because there's something else coming with these goofy dudes that they done said. But the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, a lot of them, they act like bogus car salesmen. That car salesman knows what he has. That car salesman knows what quota he's trying to reach. He's trying to make a sale as easy as he can. And once that sale is done and you're off the lot, the car loses value, you're gone. And you're ticked because you possibly got a lemon and your credit is dropped, or whatever, results have happened from you signing that bad deal, you're done. And that's what a lot of broads, they know what they're selling you. You don't. And so at the end of the day, yeah, we can sit up here and see how much they take all these girls' trip. And a lot of time they want you to spend and put and invest into their bag so they can go with a group of girls. Well, if you're going with that group, ask them girls to flew you out. Why do you always need a Negro to flew you out and all this other stuff, but they're making such a bag? This is the same type of stuff Kevin Samuels used to point out about how they really mismanage their money, because they're making all these hundreds of thousands of dollars and this, that, the other. And that's when hypergamy comes in, because these mugs think that because they're making this money, even though they've already made the debt by going to quote-unquote college, and they done played around in college and built up this debt and joined these sororities and all this goofy stuff, and they're bringing all this baggage to you and laying it on you. And men are capable to carry it because we're in our God form, but that doesn't mean that we have to do this, because we're the ones that are going to be responsible for when we accept a challenge and we accept an assignment. It's our job to deal with it, and that's really the ignorance of most men. That's really the issue. What you've allowed yourself to tie yourself to. And a lot of you have tied yourselves to the irresponsible spending of a woman, because she'll spend $700 on her hair, fake, $200 on her nails, fake. Why is there so much money invested into an image that is not you? But this man walk out, whether he's bald, whether he's 5 foot this, whatever the case may be, he's walking out, he's facing the world, he's dealing with the world as himself, but he's got to carry the weight like he's Delta Airlines or United Airlines or Southwest Airlines. He got to carry weight as if, you know what I'm saying? It's like he's the one who's built this whole dramatic trauma and issues and chaos. Nah, we good. We good.
Ladies, y'all gotta be careful, man.
Because
Watch
it's
that
some
stuff.
grimy dudes out here. They watching y'all Instagrams. They like, damn, she taking this trip. She buying this. She buying that. Do she got a man? If
Yep.
she ain't got no man, I'm finna try to bag her because she finna blow this bread on me.
Facts.
And they ain't got nothing going for them.
Nothing.
They can't even get no crib on they own. They ain't got no car for real. They got hella debt. But you to come up.
Really? The woman is the come up? I don't care if she is making a quote unquote bag. The man is always the come up. He's always the come up. Because you know how many women had to shut it down because they got pregnant by a Pookie or a Ray Ray? We're just going to stay with Pookie or Ray Ray. Because not to mention that the cats that they actually may marry, who may have a good head on their shoulders, who's going into debt if they go into debt because of the quote-unquote court system, who plays these games to capitalize off of them. So they sell you monogamy because they want you. They hoping that you marry and are married for a little while, divorce, start the process over again and do it again and keep doing it, because don't you notice there's really no limit of how many marriage licenses you break, sign, break, sign, break, sign? It sounds like polygyny. You know what I'm saying? Or I should say polygamy with the courts. Because that's a three-way relationship between you, them, and whoever you marry. So at the end of the day, now you capitalize by making same-sex marriages, who are going through a lot of the same issues as heterosexuals, especially same-sex, women and women getting married. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, you're talking about the debt that's brought in. And the debt that's accrued, a lot of times that's how those brothers get in debt in the first place, because they go into everything with their all. When if a woman wants to talk about how basically hypergamy and talk about how much she got, then you need to make her bring something and lay it down there just like you laying it down if you're going to really play that game. But we're not going to go there. There's no way that she's the come up when in a divorce, that man could be on child support. That's who they want to hang the responsibility of holding the government up, because every time you look on your check, brothers, and you see that child support coming out your check, and you see that little administrative fee that you have to take care of for an annual fee, somebody's getting paid. Somebody's retirement fund is getting set up. There's a banker sitting behind the bench and is not, or I should say behind the stand and not an actual judge. It's a banker, and he's setting up the future of his own family and legacy off of your failed relationship. And you got people that just don't understand. They just don't get what's going down. They just don't get what's happening. It's way deeper than what y'all talking about. Because at the end of the day, that at best, these bras are just managers. And they barely do that well. Because they not going to raise up your children properly. It's no way to raise up a child and you don't have both in the house, both mother and father in the house. There's no way to do that. So they have no choice but to manage, and then they complain about the drama. They complain about the demise that they created. And that's the thing. When you have overgrown children with breasts, yeah, the more they gain, the more she gains, the more she boasts. Heck, even the fact that she's getting a quote-unquote degree, oh, she'll mention that in a heartbeat, because I've seen so many Judge Mathis court cases where a woman, she was dealing with a straight up Pookie Ray Ray. I mean, straight up hood. But she's sitting up there talking about, well, what that mean? I got my degree. That don't matter. That don't matter. But what these women are admitting is that if I got my degree, I got to be something. I got to be. It can't be my fault that this relationship didn't have success and blah, 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 blah. But it is your fault. Your scallywag negative energy attracted scallywag negative energy. Your negativity, Pookie and Ray Ray negativity, makes a positive. You know why it's positive? Because you need both y'all negativity to attract to each other. And it's funny that your negativity and your energy attracts to each other up until it really comes to a cataclysmic end and everybody's scrutinizing it. Then all of a sudden you're trying to point out all his stuff, all his issues, what he's into. He was a drug dealer. He was this, that, the other. But he was all of that when you attained him. He was all that when you started dealing with him. He was all that when you allowed him to impregnate you, which was the ultimate goofy. But that's what y'all do. That's what y'all do amongst the other things, amongst the bragging, amongst the boasting, amongst the posting everything and giving away all your vital information. And you know why you do it? Because again, you're overgrown children. And that's what overgrown children do. They boast. Because that would be the ultimate definition of cheating. You've done everything you can to get ahead, and you're a sorry sport. You're a poor sport, so you got to rub it in. And that's why they can't keep their tails off the internet. That's why they got to post all their business and all their information and give their assets away. And yes, if they and sure enough, the negative energy in them, they're gonna attract the negative energy on the outside, and that's where her and Pookie Ray Ray gonna make they unity, and it's gonna last as long as it's gonna last, and it's gonna come to a cataclysmic end, and then you got cats sitting around a table talking like this, have no idea what happened, and it's more on that broad who did not know how to properly vet a man, who did not include her father in the process, who did not include her uncles or granddaddy, nobody in the process. You that masculinity rises up in you because you go into a little job, but you got debt yourself. You had all this debt, $200 and some $100,000 of debt, and then you go into a job making $90,000. Sounds like you need to be, if your debt is $200,000 at a university, you need to get a job making 300 some thousand. But it's to keep you in debt. It's to keep you going through a cycle. It's to keep you in an assembly line. And if you're going to get out here and you're going to try to get competitive with men who have always known what it's like to be competitive in our real skin, not in makeup, not in mascara, not in fake wigs and $700 hairdos and $200 nail jobs, we just go out here and we just get it as ourselves. And that's why more and more men can take, your nose. Men can take your letdowns. Men can take, your rejections, because we're used to it all the time. We compete with each other all the time, whether it's sports, whether it's for that job, that promotion, whether it's being fired, getting another job. We are used to going out here as ourselves, getting it. So at the end of the day, as we learn in 2023 that we're outnumbered, we understand as we're leaning into one of the oldest versions of marriage that there ever was. As we realize that we can be polygynous or monogamous, whatever we choose, you know what I'm saying? We're moving in our nature. Whatever we choose, we're moving towards a person that's moving towards us. That's the one thing that needs to start changing as it comes down to us. Because for all y'all that's out here getting it and doing what you're doing, kudos to you. I celebrate you. But if I hear certain things come out of your mouth, I know not to even mess with you. Especially when you can't stay off the internet and you boasting and everything and you're making yourself. Because if we come together, if you're going to move the same way, and that means that you're going to tell everybody our business, you're going to expose all our vital information, you're going to bring unnecessary attention to my kingdom that I don't want you to bring. I'm good on that. Most men are good on that.
And it's the thing about putting all your information on the internet, because if I'm looking to get at a girl or whatever, and I know everything she like. I know her favorite restaurants. I know what happened in her past relationships. I know her favorite place to travel. I know everything about her because she posts everything.
Yep.
It makes it so much easier for me to get her.
Yes.
I know what attracts her. I know how to mirror her. I know to say, oh, she like this kind of guy. Let me be that. If I'm a piece of shit dude that's trying to come up,
So
it's
easy
a dirty
to fake
game.
it.
Now, do you see what he did right there at the end? Right there at the end, he went right into what I was talking about. He went right into going from talking about what is hypergamy for women, and then he went right into the nature of a Pookie and a Ray Ray. The very thing that a real father would have to protect his young daughter from and guide her from, so that, as the scriptures call it, being defiled, she won't be out here in these streets getting defiled by experience after experience after experience, making you mad, frustrating you, upsetting you, whatever the case may be, because you're out here thinking that you gotta have hands-on experiences with these Negroes, and not realizing that experience after experience is defiling you, is destroying you from the inside out, literally. And I like how that's the one thing I did like how they did at the end. He said, look, you putting all your stuff out there, you exposing who you are, I could just study you, because that's what we do. That's our nature, to study the field before we put seed into it. That's what we really should be doing. But the negative in that is that, yes, some Pookie Ray Ray just might take advantage of you, versus a man who takes his cow, understands that, yes, that cow can be milked, but there's other things that can come out that dairy, cheese, ice cream, whatever. It's a whole lot of other stuff. Throw some meat on the grill, whatever. It's a whole lot of stuff come out of that cow than just, you know what I'm saying, being milked. But see, y'all don't deal with nobody who's willing to study you and maximize the very greatness out of you, because by nature, a woman multiplies anything you give her, whether it's good or bad. She multiplies it. That's why when you put literal seed into her, it metastasizes her over a 10-month period, 40 weeks. Sometimes, it's induced, but there's cells and different things that are multiplied and incubated over time, and it bursts life from the spark that was released into her. But for the man, before he even chooses to even give his seed away like that, he studies his soil. So he knows for a fact that if I give my seed to this woman or these women, that they're going to stand true on the things that I'm about. So I don't have to worry about holding anything back from them. I can give them a full release because they are on point. And in the same way that she multiplies in the natural, she multiplies in the spiritual. So you got to watch the exchange that is happening between you and that woman. A lot of the issues that's going on out here in these streets today, all energy, all bad, negative, dramatic exchanges. Because somebody is selfish, somebody does not want to be willing to work, somebody literally wants to watch a man run through the finish line, go broke, go to debt, go to everything. And when he crosses that finish line, ooh, we won. Like she won the race herself, like she did all the leg work. Then you flip it around, same man run through the finish line, and a woman is waiting there with nourishment, waiting there to refresh him, waiting there with a drink. That's the one you want. That right there is the one you want. Because she understands, she's appreciative of every seed you give her. She's appreciative of every effort you put out there. And now she's willing to put out. That's a true Proverbs 31 woman. Y'all don't get it, though. Y'all don't really get it. And before I get out of here, y'all better watch these women who come in like that crooked salesman. Because, again, I told you, they know what they're selling. You don't. Don't miss it when a woman is trying to be slick and hurry up and try to rush a sale, and they give you those famous words, I'm a package deal. Yeah, you're a package deal, all right. Package with debt, package with all Pookie and Ray Ray's children, And now you want to drive the price up and drive up a man's credit that you set your eyes on and realize that this a real one right here, and I can get everything I can get out of him. Never touch my money. Just keep stacking it up. Keep hiding it here. Keep doing this. Keep doing that. Or we gonna spin him dry. We gonna suck him dry, and he gonna carry the weight of this package. Yeah, it's a package, all right, but no deal. But I'm out, baby.